Good morning. Welcome back to our weekly devotion. Today's Transformed by the Word reading is taken from Chronicles chapter 7 and 8. How do you find the reading? Boring, right? We read names after names after names that we sometimes cannot pronounce and names that have nothing to do with us. But let me encourage you to press on and read those names. Let me explain. We are living in a visual media age. Video presentation is one of the most effective and interesting ways to communicate. People make videos for advertising, for social media, and even for weddings. If you have attended weddings, you've probably seen photo montage of the newlyweds. The photo montage usually consists of photos of their wedding shoots or photos of their growing up years or courtship. A few years ago, a couple of my friends got married and they also wanted to do the same thing. But the photos they chose were quite interesting. They didn't just choose photos which had only two of them in it. They made sure they chose all photos that their guests in their wedding banquet or church wedding also appeared in them. Well, they told me this is because people are more interested in the pictures if they appear in them. So by the way, my two friends were not marketing or media professionals. They were actually accountants. But in other words, when people look at group pictures, they will almost certainly look for their own faces. It's true, isn't it? Whenever you look at group pictures, most of us look for our own faces, right? Well, I don't know about you, but I certainly do. And that's why I get bored when I read the 8 chapters in Chronicles. 8 long chapters of name that has nothing to do with me. But if I were to tell you that your name is somewhere among the names in the 8 long chapters, will you be curious? You will not be bored plowing through the 6,000 words to see where your name is. Well, the Chronicles, Chronicle 1 and 2, were written 2,500 years ago after the return of the exile. So you won't find your name there. I'm so sorry. But the Chronicles is a book that retraces the history of God's love for his people from Adam to the time of exile. To God, the names are not just a name or just a number. The names are real people, people who love, or who God loves actually, people who God loves. All the names in the genealogy are people God loves. Or you may ask, every one of them? Oh yes, all, including those who betrayed him and sinned against him. That's why you see Adam's name is there. And you see David's name, and you also see Saul, King Saul's name in chapter 8. Yes, even King Saul. You see, God loved Saul. Although Saul made many mistakes in his life, God gave him chance again and again. But instead of repenting, and Saul continued with his errors until he finally perished. God also loves David. David made a lot of mistakes in his life too. But God gave him chance again and again. Each time he sinned, God gave him chance. He repented and became a better person. Then he made another mistake. God gave him another chance. He repented and learned his mistake and became a better person. And through the line of David, God brought about his own son, Jesus, and showed his ultimate love for his people. Well, God has another chronicle of names. It is called the Book of Life. And now this book, your name is in it. This book was not written at the return of the exile. This book was written before the foundation of the earth. But it will only be revealed after the return of Christ. Similarly, we all will be making mistakes in our lives. But God will give us chance again and again until we are perfected by his Spirit. So, are you reading today's reading of names? Will you bear in mind as you read those names of God's grace in your life? Will you put Christ as the center of your life? Will you trust him, learn from your mistake, and become a better person? Have a good day.